welcome to the Fun Stamper's Journey video studio. I am Kim Kesti, Creative Director here at FSJ, and so excited to be here on a Tuesday again, fancy that, for our edition of T3. What is T3, do you ask? T3 is Tools, Tips, and Techniques, which I try to come to you on Tuesdays. So it's kind of like T4, but we're going to stick with T3 because I know that that's the official name, as you saw in our cute little logo that just popped up. So what do I do here? I come to you every week and I share, again, special tips. We have maybe 1 week I'll focus on tools. Today I'm going to be showing you one of our premier tools. I'm so excited about that. I'll always share my tips for you for creating cards, scrapbook pages, even throw some planner pages in once in a while. And then of course any technique that I can share with you that hopefully kind of gets your creativity a little boost, maybe encourages you to try something new. That's what it's all about. And sometimes it's just about going back to those oldie but goodie techniques. I always like those too. So today I'm going to be working on, I guess you call it a tropical card. Here in Phoenix, which is where we're broadcasting from, we haven't quite let go of summer yet. I know some of you back east are like all up into the fall and getting excited about it, but it's pretty much still 108 degrees here today. So I'm still feeling the summer vibe. I'm going to do one more kind of tropical flavored card for you today, just to round out the summer. I think that's a fun idea, don't you? Okay, let's check out what we're going to be using today. We are going to be playing with a lot of the selection of stamps from our RSVP collection. Now this is one of our special collections we made, and it's really all about having all the pieces coordinate. All the stamp and die combos, even pattern paper. We all have collected it together in a collection we call RSVP. This particular stamp is kind of one of our debut stamps in that it has a matching die, which is pretty fun. So it's called the Modern Frame, and then we also sell an accessory die that matches. So once you stamp this little guy out, which I've actually pre-done before I came on air here, you can go ahead and take this die, which of course, as you can see, is a perfect match. And I've even used these little pieces, which are some of the little fun foliage that we have. When we create a die like this, we're already going to be paying for this amount of metal. So we thought, how fun to go ahead and add some fun little accessory pieces, you know, to the inside. We want to give you the best value for your money. So that's why we have these fun accessory pieces, which I love. So again, I've already stamped out our Modern Frame. Now this is kind of funny because it's white embossed, and it's not going to show up real good on here, but it's going to come to life in just a moment. Oh yeah, Roy's getting a nice zoom in here. So it is embossed. We did stamp it with clear pigment ink, and then I did sprinkle on the white embossing powder. Now what's kind of fun about this guy is this is actually a piece of our splash sheet. So it is our watercolor paper. So it's a little thicker. You could probably tell a little bit by how I'm bending it. So it's going to be really sturdy for the technique that we're going to do in just a minute. But I did want to share this matching die here, and I'm actually going to run it through. Remember I said I was going to share one of our new tools. And this is one of our brand new die cutting machines. Now we've had a platinum die cutting machine for a while. I'm going to turn it this way so maybe we can get the other camera angle. Called the Platinum, and it was a little bit bigger platform. It fits a full 8.5 by 11 sheet on top of it. But this is our brand new one, and this little guy is called our Platinum 6. Isn't he cute? I'm going to fold him up just for funsies. So what Platinum 6 means is it really means it's just a little baby brother of the big platinum machine that we have. Has the same amazing insides, the same really sturdy, you know, heavy metal inside, so we can die cut just about anything. But it just has a 6-inch wide platform right here, which is why we call it the Platinum 6. So cute, right? And it's perfect for all of your, you know, a little bit smaller die cutting needs. So what I'm going to do is I'll move it over just a little bit. All of the plates and all the sandwiches and everything are exactly the same as the larger platinum machine. So you don't have to relearn anything. But I'm going to use a little piece of our electric tape to hold my die in place, because this platform on the Platinum 6 is not magnetic. The larger platinum machine does have a magnetic platform, but we heard from quite a few customers that some of them have issues with pacemakers or other health issues where they're really not comfortable using the magnets on the platform. So we went ahead and did this little guy without magnets. And because it is smaller, it kind of negates the need for magnets because you're going to be doing smaller projects on this. So you can see that I've taped the oval in place. I've just followed the stamped line around the image there. Kind of hard to see because, like I said, it is white on white, but we'll bring that to life in just a minute. And then you can die cut right through. And even though this is watercolor paper and it's a little bit heavier, the die just cuts it just fine. Take the tape off and it pops right out. So now you have the background stamp, the first one that we've ever made to have a matching die, and you've got this adorable, amazing frame, which is called Modern Frame. Set these guys. You can save this oval for another project. Set that aside in your scrap bin. Okay, so now we're going to have some fun coloring this guy. So we're going to bring in some of our liquid colors. I've been having a lot of fun with our liquid colors lately, trying all kinds of different things, so I thought I would share what's really a simple technique with liquid colors, but I think really fun and effective. I have this block because this is the larger block that I used to stamp my modern frame, so I'm going to go ahead and use it as a palette just because I have it handy here. You know, get more use out of your blocks that way. It's fun. I'm going to put Limeade Splash down and Sweet Pear. Because I'm kind of going tropical on this card, I wanted to keep it all in those fun green tones. So again, Sweet Pear. And because I have liquid color here, I could add water to this. I'm not going to today, but you could totally add water to this liquid color and water it down. And because this is the splash sheet and it's heavier, it can absorb a lot of water. So if you want to try that method when you're trying it at home, totally go for it. I encourage you to do that. So I've got my two daubers here. I'm going to use the lighter one first. Anytime I'm using my ink, and I'm going to share that with you, another tip with you as I do my stamping next, anytime you're using inks, whether it's liquid color, splashes, or our regular True Color Fusion inks, and you're working together, you're blending inks on a project, start with your lighter color. So that's one tip that's just super easy, super simple, but some people may have not heard that. And if you start with a darker color, you might get too much saturation. Does that make sense? So start with your lighter color first, in which case I'm going to do that now with a Sweet Pear. And I'm just kind of scooping it up with my little blender here, my dauber. And then I'm just going to come in, and you can see right away that that color from the white embossing starts to pop out. I'm going to come all around the edges. I'm not worried about covering every little bit because I do want to come in with the limeade, but I kind of definitely want this outside edge to have a lot of that Sweet Pear. Isn't that a yummy color? Does it make you hungry for pears? Must be getting close to lunchtime here in Phoenix. I must be getting hungry. So I'm going to come in with my limeade. And now I want to come in also in the corners here. And see how the colors are just going to kind of start blending together. I kind of like this little fan image on the edges, so I'm going to make sure that those get some limeade into them. And you could be as smooth or as blotchy as you like, you know, just kind of keep working the colors in until it's exactly perfect for you. What I love about having this frame cut out in the middle now is that I can take my dauber, and I added a little bit more limeade now, and I can really come in here and get the inside of that frame. That's really going to highlight my frame and add a lot of depth when I add it to my card. So I'm kind of coming at an angle and getting the inside of that frame all yummy with my limeade. And then I can lay it flat again and continue to blend in a little bit. So again, it's really, you know, what's pleasing to your eye. I might come back with some Sweet Pear and blend it in a little more. The liquid color is so fun because it is blendable. And again, if you add water, you're going to get that much more adaptability to blend the colors too. But this is straight liquid color, nothing else fancy, just easy peasy. And it'll also dry much quicker now, even though a lot of that color, I can feel that it's a little bit damp. A lot of that color is soaked into the splash sheet, but it's totally fine. It'll dry in no time. Yeah, look, didn't even bleed through. Okay, super fun. I'm going to actually let that dry for a couple of minutes. I'll set it aside. Set my little daubers aside. So now, what do I want for my next tropical action? I think that I want the perfect stamp set, which is called In the Tropics, and it has a matching die, which I absolutely love. When I first started doing this card, I was going to go crazy and put all kinds of leaves on it. But I actually thought, you know what? This frame has got so much fun action already that it just needs really one fun focal leaf. So I went ahead and picked the largest leaf, which is, I think that's a Monstera leaf. Love that guy. And I thought I'm going to try experimenting, stamping it a few different ways with a few different greens and see what I love. So I went ahead and grabbed 4 of our green ink pads. And I thought, you know what, I'll just kind of experiment, see which greens I like. I'm going to put 2 different color inks on this stamp. So let me start with something really light. My lightest one, which is my Sweet Pear. I'm going to go ahead and ink it up normally. Again, just get a nice coat of ink on there. And then I'm going to come with my next darker just to see what it looks like, Electric Lime. And this time I'm going to ink just around the edges of the leaf. So I'm just going to kind of pounce it around the edges. So I want to leave the inside of the stamp mostly Sweet Pear and just add a little extra. I've got a nice piece of whipped cream cardstock here so I can try my different leaves out. Okay, kind of pretty, kind of like it. It's pretty pale, but it's good. Let me try another combination. Actually, I'm going to try Electric Lime first this time. I'll just keep going darker and darker until I see what ends up being my favorite leaf. This is what's fun about the inks, is you can just come in and experiment, try different combinations. But again, when you have the lighter ink first, it's not going to contaminate your pad that you have in your hand, the next darker shade. Okay, so this is Electric Lime with Limeade around the edge. Ooh, yeah, that's pretty too. A little bit darker, right? Can you tell I'm just having fun? La 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 la. Okay, let's try Limeade in the middle this time. So now we're getting darker and richer, which I think the Monstera leaf is pretty dark, isn't it? If you're familiar with those, leave me a comment. I've wanted one for my house, but I don't know if they'll survive here in Arizona. I feel like that's not humid enough. Maybe it was inside. Oh, I do like that one. Isn't that the prettiest one? I think it's the truest to what the actual leaf looks like. So I'm going to stop right there. So I've got 3 different shades of green leaves. And again, experiment, play, see which ones you like. Kind of love that one. So I'm going to stop right there. I did want to share one extra tip for shading this leaf a little bit. And some of our journey coaches have done this recently online. If you follow any of them, you may have seen this pop up in their feeds. But they have been showing how to take a couple of our color pencils. So these are our traditional color pencils, our color burst, and just adding a little more shading to this leaf after you have it stamped. So it's so easy because the actual ink that's on here is like your guide. It's going to tell you exactly where to go. So I'm going to take the darker green and start with the outside here. The leaf is absolutely gorgeous already, but watch what happens when you just add a little bit more definition with a pencil. So I'm kind of going around some of the outside edges. I'll do like half of it and then you guys can see the difference. The pencils are so creamy that you don't even really need a blender with them. Just have light pressure and come in. And again, it's almost like color, like paint by number, right? Did you guys ever do that when you were a kid? Because I can see where the darkest ink is, then that just gives me my guide for coloring. So pretty. I can see it coming to life already. And now I'm going to take the lighter green. So that first pencil on this one was 22. And now I'm coming in with 21. And I'm just going to go from that darker just down the leaf a little bit farther. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an expert colorer. I certainly don't consider myself an expert colorer. I have a lot to learn. But something like this, I feel like I can just come in, follow the image that's already on there. So, take a peek. You've got the one side that's colored right here. Kind of draw a line here. This side's colored in, just a little bit more shaded, and this is just with the ink only. They're both really pretty. This just has just a little bit more depth, a little bit more, you know, action to it. So love that. Super easy, fun little tip. And again, one thing that I love about the stamp set is the matching dies. So I could just go ahead and run this through my die cutting machine and then have my fun little accent. Love that. Set that guy aside. So now I'll bring my frame back in And again, because I'm going so tropical, I really kept my card base in the limeade. I kept my matte in the sweet pear. I would go ahead and trim this down with our trimmer. I'm not going to do it right now and take the time. But I went ahead and trimmed it for my finished project right along the edge of that modern frame. And then for my sentiment, I'll go ahead and stamp this guy out. I got the Spread Love stamp set that's also in the RSVP collection. One of my very, very favorite sentiment stamp sets. And it also has the matching die. And one thing I did want to share with you just real quick, in case you're not familiar with it, in the back of our catalog we have a storage system which includes these cases, but just equally as important are the actual pouches and storage tabs that we have. So they're on the same page as the storage, and this is page 327 in our catalog. But this is what the storage pouch looks like in real life. It's a really heavy plastic storage pouch. And then you can put the stamps in there. It fits perfectly. It's got a nice gusset on the side. So hopefully you can see that. But what's really unique is the actual divider tabs that we have. They're called storage tabs. And they're an even heavier plastic. They're a little bit frosted. Can you guys see that? So what that allows me to do is to put my stamp set in, put the divider in between, and then my matching die set here. So guess what? My die set is not touching my stamps. See how it's got the little storage tab in between? So that protects my red rubber stamp set from getting any kind of scratches or any kind of, damage on it. So I love that this system is all in one. We've got the actual storage pouch and the storage tab. Perfect for your stamp and die combos. And they happen to fit beautifully in the larger storage case, which we will share that another time, won't we? All right, so I'm using this one. Yeah, I said I was going to stamp it out. Let's do it. Get on the ball, Kim. Okay, so I'm just using good old black licorice. I want to keep the sentiment nice and bright and lively for the finishing piece in the center of my card. But it stamps so beautifully, I have to share. So cute. Oh, so happy, and is that not the best sentiment ever? I love it. So much fun. So to finish my tropical yumminess here, I brought in 2 packages of embellishments. Of course, I'm not going to use all of them. That would be crazy, but I have 2 canned friends. I happen to love these little guys right here. Well, they're all adorable, but he's going to look really good on my card. And then also the Flamingo Life. And this has a lot of really fun button accents, one of which I'm going to use, or a couple I'm going to use on my card. But look at all the cute little things. Besides the flamingo, the pineapple, the watermelon. Oh my gosh, it has so many cute things. So let me bring in my finished card so you can get a gander on how it all came together. So here it is. It's called Oh So Happy. So here's my what I call my embellishment cluster right here. There's the super cute leaf. And I did use the little extra die cuts. They're right here. Remember I showed you from the modern frame. This little guy is just a sticker, so easy as can be, along with one of the little hibiscus there. And see my little buttons tucked in? They just make such a cute little embellishment cluster. Give him the perfect place to perch. And again, there's my frame with my sweet pear matte and my limeade card base. So there's that guy all finished up. Kind of tropical, kind of fun, kind of summery, right? Kind of gives you the summer vibe. I love using what I call a monochromatic color palette, and that's what this guy is. All the different shades of green, and then my accessories just kind of pop up. I did love the gray on his wings, so I did use some silver silk just as that last little accent for on the edges of my card, just because that tied in his little gray wing right there. So, super fun. I really enjoyed making this card for our T3 today, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you think any of these tips or techniques would be fun to share with your friends, please do that. Share this video, and if you're watching us on YouTube, you might consider subscribing, because then we'll send you a little notice every week when I come to you live or here on YouTube, and you will never miss a T3 ever again. That would be amazing. But if you have questions about these projects or anything, please visit us at funstampersjourney.com, where we together bring paper to life.